Stuff, mumbling, pineapple stuff, dabbling, controversial stuff. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. N-I-C-K, mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air, cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6. Jonesing for your fix of that dabbling politics mix. And when I fudge, you laugh punk. Shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and this YouTube thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time, so you better get some better views and get saved up on your dime. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabble is blasting out the political shit. The basket for shit, put bounce in the dabble pit. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 Hey ladies, where you at? Hey fellas, where you at? And the dabblers that don't give a fuck, where you at?
Welcome to Dabbling in Politics. I am OG Mumbling Nick. With me, as always, is my co-host Liquid Cryptid. How we doing, sir?
Oh, tired but good.
Yep. Yeah. Liquid. Well, can't say, but he can't. He's on limited technology tonight. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I'm moving.
Okay.
And everything is packed up right now. So I'm on my laptop, and it's just telling Nick earlier before the show. It's literally sitting on my hamper that's I turned upside down to have something to set it on. It's like my only furniture is my desk chair and inflatable bed.
Young Old Vibes wants to know if you've been deported. I don't think so.
Me?
I think
yes, I'm
yeah.
coming to you from Alligator Alcatraz.
I actually don't know what time zone he's moving to. We'll have to figure that out later. But yeah, congratulations. I knew he was looking. That's why he was driving around the country a month or so ago, whatever it was. And yeah, apparently he nailed down a place. So that's great. And Written Asylum, it's good to see you back, buddy. Hope you're doing okay. Young Old Vibes, you as well. Thank you very much. That's right. He did say it was a possibility. That's correct.
Yes, I did say that I will be on closer to the eastern part of the United States than where I am
All right. So
So
tonight.
so you can narrow it down to the eastern half of the United States.
So yeah, tonight we're gonna so last week we watched a couple videos from a YouTuber I like called Too Lazy to Try. As I explained, he's not, political, usually doesn't post any political shit. um he's more into kind of like the comedian podcast type universe. Like I said, he's got a video just on Stuttering John. He's got one on fucking Shuli, one on Shuli and Bob. But mostly he does, and a bunch of Opie and Anthony shit, but mostly it's Rogan, that those type of people. And he'll dig back and do some like Howard Stern shit, usually best of Howard Stern. But he's been talking a lot about the Epstein files, more like the how they were handled, not really, what's in them or anything, because like
Hey,
you
they're
said,
real again. That's
right, they're
nice.
real again, exactly. um and yeah, so last week that's when all that broke, so he put 2 videos out on that. He's got 2 more this week. One's almost like a continuation. The first one we'll watch, almost a continuation on the fallout, and then the second one is more on how like the Rogan guys, are the podcasters are kind of coping with, what they had Trump on, and they endorsed them, didn't really push him, and now they're trying to claim that Trump's not doing what they thought he was going to do, what he promised. And honestly, that's kind of a mixed bag in my opinion. I mean, I think they may have misunderstood. I fully got, like, one of the things that'll come up is the immigration, where I think one of them, Rogan, and some other ones are like, I thought he was only gonna deport all the violent criminals and the gang members. I didn't know that he was gonna get all the hardworking guys that, like, in front of Home
Well,
Depot.
no, he said he's going to start with the criminals and gang
Right.
members, and then, but he wanted to, deport them all. That's always been that's always been the case. They just said that at the beginning of it said that they're going to start with the criminals, basically the people that they already had on hand because of they're criminals and they're in jail.
Right.
But they did that. Now they're going after everybody else.
So that's where I'm like, not that I'm on Trump's side because I don't agree with it, but it was pretty clear to me what Trump and ICE were going to be doing, and it's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know why everybody's so shocked that this is happening. I mean, he literally legitimately said, we're going to close the border and deport anybody in the country illegally. That's what they're doing.
yeah. And then there's I think there's other time they'll in the videos they talk about, like, because they've all had Trump on and they didn't really push him, and they'd be like, well, he wasn't really going to answer. What was I supposed to do? Push him on this? Like, I think even the Epstein thing comes up where they're like, these guys would talk about Epstein files, then they have Trump on and they don't bring it up once, and then when he leaves, they talk about it again. So anyway, was there a missed opportunity there? Was there some kind of agreement? I remember it was either 2016 or 2020. Like he had Bernie on, and he was talking to and then later on Rogan was talking to Jimmy Dore, who at the time was kind of like an independent progressive news guy that I liked. And he kind of he's more almost like right wing now because the vaccine thing, he did some videos skeptical of the vaccine, and he got a lot of Trump supporters supporting him. So then he just kind of started placating to them, sort of thing. But at the time, him and Rogan were just talking, and Rogan's like, "Oh, they all asked to come on, Kamala, Biden, this and that." He's like, "Even Trump asked to come on," and he's like, "You didn't have Trump on?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, they wanted to have some rules set up ahead of time, and I wasn't going to do that." So I don't know if that was still the case or if there was just like a wink, wink. Hey, don't ask me about this. Who the fuck knows? I mean, we'll watch the videos and find out. But to me, it's almost more funny. Like, no matter what side you're on, I feel comedians are supposed to hold these politicians accountable. They're supposed to, like, shit on them, hold them, question them. They're not supposed to buddy up with politicians. Like, it sounds like a joke, but comedians are supposed to be almost like our last line of defense when it comes to this First Amendment shit and going after them. So it's almost
Well,
like
ideally that would be all journalists.
100%. Yeah. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore. Rogan hasn't been watchable in years. Early in the Spotify deal, he was still cool, but ever since they blame elections on him, I just couldn't give a shit. Yeah, I'm one of the few lefties left who still, I don't mind. I honestly think Rogan isn't how do I want to say this? Like, he's definitely not this alt-right fucking thing. Like, he actually has more liberal policies than conservative. He's kind of a mixed bag. You know, he has some
Pretty central.
yeah.
He has his own ideas, and
Right.
he doesn't really seem to be the kind of person that really he doesn't subscribe to any specific side.
Right. And I think on what kind of went wrong is so he's all into, you know, the UFC shit and Dana White, and Dana White is super tight with Trump. So I almost think there's some like pressure there to, I don't know, instead of being like a centrist guy that goes after both sides, I almost think there was some pressure there on him. So that's part of it. And he seems to believe the last guy that's been in the room with him lately. Like, he used to like bring in all these experts and listen to him. And I don't know. Now I don't know. I just, long story short, I don't think his intentions are bad. I really don't. I think he's making some mistakes lately, but I don't think his intentions are bad. And I think this all kind of started with well, I think it was CNN that kind of went after him for the ivermectin fucking thing. So he got to see how fucked up our media is, you know, and so
Yeah, I
don't
just
really,
think Joe Rogan, for me, just he basically calls it how he sees it at the time, you know, with the information he has on hand.
yeah.
So I find it hard to believe that I mean, there might be a little, you know, hey, go easy on him. I don't know. He doesn't sound like the kind of guy that if a politician or anybody went on his show and they said, well, you can't, do not broach this subject. He seems like the kind of guy that'd be the very first subject that he brings up.
Yeah, like his defense, like I said, in 2016 or whichever one it was, he flat out told Jimmy Dore like he shot down Trump because he wasn't going to have these stipulations, you know. So like I said, I don't know if things changed, or there might not have been anything like obviously you start hanging out with Trump and Dana White at these events. It's tough to go after people you're friendly with. So that may have been part of it. Trump may have just buddied up to him and figured, all right, maybe he'll go a little easier on me, you know, but I don't know. That's all speculation on my part. I obviously have no firsthand knowledge. Rogan is not the smartest tool in the shed. Hey, young old vibes. Yes, he is. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Then the other clips I got are I got the couple of clips of Tulsi. Well, I think one clip is from Tulsi from this morning on Fox, whatever the Fox morning show is, and then the breaking news when what's his face on Fox News broke it Friday or whatever it was. So talking the Liquid, he hasn't really been able to cover the story. To me, it's actually kind of confusing. Um, it's, I guess, to be fair, I gotta like read the documents, but I was waiting for one of my guys who I trust to put something out on this, but they to translate the documents more. But basically, the gist of it, Liquid, is it sounds like after the 2016 election, during the lame duck period, you know, between Trump getting elected and Obama leaving, supposedly Obama's intelligence community came back and were like, yeah, there really wasn't much Russia interference. They didn't really have the technology or the I don't know, the desire to basically their the, what they did with our election, it affected our election very little. Which I think we all kind of knew anyway, I hoped. But supposedly he kind of tried to get them to write the report so that it didn't seem that way. Like just write all the stuff they did do, or this, I don't know. Try to like push the Russia hoax narrative type of thing. Which I think is fucked up, but that shit happens all the time after the election. It didn't affect the election. So I don't really get the treasonous part of it. Like, you can, I'll play the clips for you, and you can let me know what you think. But pretty much,
As I said, I've been sorry, having trouble speaking up here.
I already had two of those moments already. So yeah,
I've been really busy this week, obviously, so I haven't really been keeping track of stuff. But I go on the X and I see all these people on the left, you know, freaking the fuck out, saying, you know, Obama is innocent. You know, why are you going after Obama? What's up with Obama? And I'm like looking, and you know, they're saying, how come all these, you know, Republicans are saying we need to try Obama for treason and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm looking through my phone. I'm looking like all the righty people that
Yeah.
the right hand people on the right that I follow, and nobody's saying anything about Obama. But all the people on the left are freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, oh, it's something. I don't know, why are we talking about Obama? And I just basically, went back to whatever it was I was doing. And that's pretty much all I know about it, is that a bunch of people on the left are all the regular scumbags on the left. Brooklyn Dad, JoJo.
It's so funny. Like, I think
they're going off saying, all the Republicans want to arrest Obama, and then I look at all the the right, even like Cat Turd, I think, just made a couple of comments to other like reposts. Like, I went through his thing and he just made a couple of comments made some reposts of some stuff.
So yeah, I don't know, and it could be me, to be fair. Maybe I more read stuff that I disagree with than I agree with, but I didn't get a lot. Yeah, okay, I didn't get a lot of the left stuff, but I got a lot of the like Cat Turd, that fucking Eagleman fucking guy. Can never think of his name. I don't know. Gunther Eagleman's actually been the one who's posted the most out of all those people I've seen on it.
Okay.
But he keeps putting the same thing over and over again. So I'm like, I commented a couple of times, like, he keeps putting the Obama cult is freaking out, and then stuff about he's going back to the Kenya fucking birth certificate or whatever the fuck. I think they're making the mistake the Democrats made, in that, like, when the Democrats went after Trump for not Tulsi Gabbard, sorry, that fucking porn star, I can't think of her name.
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels. That was, I feel awful. I don't like Tulsi, but I didn't mean to mistake her for a fucking porn star. Stormy Daniels, like, they went after Trump for that stupid shit. And I'm not saying this is stupid, but it's like, I see how they word it, and then I see like they basically, first it was kind of presented as Obama was pushing for them to write like a false report, which to me, it is kind of a big deal. It's not a massive deal because the election's over, you know what I mean? And of course, the Democrats, Hillary, super coped. She blamed fucking Russia for her losing. She blamed fucking Bernie for her losing. She blamed everything but herself for her losing. So
yeah, it's not the fact that she's one of the most unlikable people that you'll ever see on TV.
She's fucking terrible.
That couldn't possibly be it.
Unbelievable. But then, so like, yeah, if Obama called for a false report that were lies, yeah, that's fucked. I'm not down with that. But then when I saw how it was kind of worded, it almost sounded like, instead of, like, he pretty much, Obama was like, well, let's just keep out the parts about, them not having the desire. Just tell me what they did. Like, the stuff, like, basically it seemed like they did do something, but it was so minimal it didn't affect the election, which I 100% believe. You know what I mean? I assume almost.
Oh yeah, the whole Russiagate thing was all just bullshit. And I think most people knew that because, we have eyes and ears.
But what I find where these things kind of tie together for me a little bit is, so now this is a big deal. They're able to get this. They want to show us what Obama, I guess, ordered or wrote on this. But you also claim that Obama wrote the Epstein files. So let's see those. Like, if you want to show us Obama lied about Trump during Russiagate, well, isn't it worse that if he lied and said Trump was a pedophile when he's not a pedophile? Like, I figured that would be worse. So I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. I think it's just like one of those distraction things, and treason is overblown. If he did, false reports, absolutely. And I guess do what you can at this point, but he's an ex-president with virtual immunity like Trump, so I don't know what you do. To me, I'd rather you go after his war crimes, Obama's war crimes and shit like that. But you know how it is. Right, 100%. Yeah.
And also, maybe they're not aware of this, but Obama is not president anymore.
Yeah, right. Like, it's so actually we'll start with that stuff, and if we have time, the only other thing I kind of wanted to cover, the Stephen Colbert thing. Not really, like I told you offline, I am not a Colbert fan. I mean, I liked him better when he was
Yeah,
on
nobody
Comedy
is.
Central.
That's
Like
why
that was.
that's why they're killing the show, because nobody's a Colbert fan.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out because I do like what's funny. Trump was tweeting shit today where I almost these things almost might not seem linked, but in my head they could be linked or Truth
Yeah, I
Social.
saw your show this morning.
Oh, that's
Well,
it. Yeah,
I saw I listened to it while I was packing,
gotcha.
and
But go on. Sorry.
yeah, like once again, I don't know the very particulars of it, and this is another thing that I just basically seen, skimming around on X. But I saw somebody put up the numbers that the top 3 late night shows are getting, and this takes me back to several years ago. I don't remember where, I don't remember how long ago, but I remember hearing this discussion between people who have had exposure to TV and entertainment and that sort of thing. And yeah, I think it was just before COVID, so it had to be about 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I was listening to something where they're saying that the current top late night show with the highest ratings just 10 years prior, so say like 2005, 2010, they would have canceled it immediately if they got such low numbers. And now it's even like 1 million people less than that. It's like 31% less than even then. So these it's been a discussion that's gone around for a long time of how long are these late night shows going to be able to continue to run, because like the Tonight Show with Colbert, it was losing $50 million a year, and
So
essentially, and it's getting 2.9 million viewers, and then like what's his name, Kimmel's getting like 1.5 million. It's like for network television, that's essentially 0 people.
yeah, so here's where I'll briefly talk about this, and then I guess we'll get to the videos. So I totally get, obviously it's not watched like it used to be watched, and I even think at this point, I think when Lorne Michaels dies, I think they might just take SNL off. You know what I mean? Like all that late night shit. The reason I found it suspicious is, number one, as shitty as those ratings are, they were number 1 for that time slot, that show, whatever. He
Yeah,
was.
but I mean, as I said, you could say they're number 1, absolutely. But I mean, that's like saying, we're number 1, relating to, 2 other shows that are worse than ours. They're getting
Yeah.
lower
Well,
number than ours. And that's exactly what it is. It's like they're bottom of the barrel. They're getting no views, so they're getting no advertising money, and they're not canceling Colbert. They didn't
no,
fire
they're
him.
taking it off, right?
They're canceling the entire show. Like the late show that's been around since the 50s is gone. It's no longer going to, or the Tonight Show, I think is the one that he does. But yeah, it's gone. They're after next year, beginning next year, there will be no more Tonight Show.
So this is actually only because I was a big Letterman fan. This was the Late Show. This one was actually like created in the early '90s when Letterman left the Tonight
This
Show.
is the Late Show. I don't know who's doing.
Yeah. The Tonight Show is the one with fucking
that
Jimmy
was with
Fallon, I think. The Fallon one. Yeah, the one I watched the least.
Leno? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like I don't watch any of these shows, but sometimes I see the clips on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. Nobody does. That's why they're canceling them. That's why, as I said, that show is like they're hemorrhaging. They're losing $50 million a year.
That happened to me in that video this morning. Yeah, there's a word I couldn't say, and I just gave up.
But yeah, they're losing $50 million a year on that show, and now imagine how much all the other shows are losing. So I imagine there's not going to be any more late night TV here pretty soon. In fact, it's gone on for too long. Like this generation of late night hosts, it should have they should have just killed all the shows previous to these current hosts, just because they were already losing money at the time.
Hey, Metal, good to see you. Yeah. So if
I can say hemorrhaging.
Yeah, hemorrhaging. I'm trying to remember the word I couldn't say this morning. I'll probably try and think of it later. If things had happened in a different order, I may have believed it more. Like I said, number one, I don't think it should have been the first of these shows. If like say Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, whatever, one of the shows that wasn't making as much got taken off first. Okay. But it happened like 2 days after the settlement where he kind of criticized the network or the parent company for basically what he considered bribing the president, because it sounded like this lawsuit Trump had was, he had like no chance of winning. It was the 60 Minutes one with the editing or whatever. But the I can't remember either company, so I, not that we would care, but whatever company owns CBS wants to merge with this other big company, and of course they need government approval. So they figure, all right, we settle with Trump. Maybe we take this show out. He gets the brag, and he's like, oh yeah, maybe Jimmy Kimmel's next. Like I think it's the way network TV is. I don't know what they're going to put in that spot that's going to make money. And if it
Nothing,
wasn't
because
right,
nobody's watching.
okay, so might as well, like, I don't know why
Therefore,
they wouldn't have approached.
or
Um,
reruns, probably news reruns or something.
yeah, I think if it was money related, they may have approached Steven and be like, hey, we got to cut some staff, we got to cut some of this and that. I don't know. I the timing makes me a little suspicious. And again, I don't really care in particular. I just don't like if our government is dictating this shit. Because even like later, I just saw this afternoon or this evening, whatever it was, Trump on Truth Social saying, if the Washington Redskins, sorry, if the Washington, what the fuck are they now?
Commanders.
Commanders don't change their name back to the Redskins, maybe they're not going to get a new stadium deal or whatever. And it's like, dude, who gives a fuck? You can't tell people. Like, I'm one of the people, I don't give a fuck what any team's named. I don't care. But you can't start like doing that to companies, or it's like, I mean, who's the communist now? Who's the fascist now? If Trump's going to dictate what companies can name, who they can hire, I don't know. That's where it gets a little scary for me. But obviously,
Well,
I can't.
a lot of the stadiums do get a lot of federal money, but
Right,
they do bring a lot of business to a city, so they also get a lot of city money. But also, I mean, there's horror stories about the funding for stadiums like all over the place. I think maybe we should probably just not have them, but whatever, they're going to do it. I think the team should pay for it all.
Well, so this is what I was gonna say. This is where I'm torn on the issue with, if you take that part out of it. Yeah, I've never liked how these guys are billionaires. Let them, and they charge $1 billion for parking. Let them fucking pay for their own shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Ironically, I can't stand Robert Kraft, but he paid for that stadium in Foxborough, the Patriots one, all by himself. So, which is a very rare. So yeah, I agree with.
They're 100% keep the Commander's name and pay for their own damn stadium, which, to be 100% honest, should be the way all teams do it.
Right, but it's not really, and that, I don't know. I guess what makes that one tricky is that one's in DC, so I don't know how that works. Because usually it's the state, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, metal. I'm just saying I don't like the precedent that sets. Like, number one, the president shouldn't care what a fucking football team is named.
Well, that is true.
So it just,
but they can withhold, but he can withhold federal funding for any reason. So
yeah, it's just, all right. Now he's calling all the shots and everything because he brought up the Cleveland Indians after that. Where obviously, I don't know. It just drives me nuts. It's like very slippery slope. Focus on other shit.
But going back to the Colbert thing, where we branched off from, yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with because these deals, they take a long time, they take years. So it might have just been coincidence. It might have, it might have been, the merger wanted to happen. I don't see anybody specifically pointing a finger at Colbert for anything. Like, I don't think Trump has ever even mentioned Stephen Colbert. So that he's had a Trump derangement syndrome for a long time now.
Yeah, he has mentioned Colbert. He does mention Kimmel more. He's like the one he mainly goes after. But yeah, he has mentioned, like, I don't know if Jimmy Kimmel all of a sudden has to hold back. I don't know. We'll have to see. Like,
but maybe it isn't, maybe it isn't. But as I said, it doesn't matter. All these shows are on life support anyway. So
yeah, that's what
when everybody's like, "Oh, you're canceling Colbert," we can't cancel the comedians. It's like, dude, these shows are going away, and they have been for years now. It's been known. Anybody who's looking at the ratings, which is like 10 years ago to like now, they've lost so much viewership that it's just like, I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did anyway. And once again, they didn't fire Colbert. They're not firing Colbert. They're just ending
Right, they're canceling the show. Yeah. Ridden Asylum. Yeah, I can't remember. I wanted to do something on this with Eckle when we do something again, or somebody. This cancel culture. Actually, I think we may have tackled this issue once. Issue. Yeah, I don't care what any of that shit's called. I don't think most people do. I think what the misconception is, I don't remember anybody, and maybe there was some small group, but I never heard of it. I don't remember anyone saying, "Hey, you can't call this Aunt Jemima or Uncle Ben's or what." Like, the company decided on their own because I think they thought, that would make them more money if
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That was pretty much a company decision. I don't know anybody who was offended by Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, and the Land O'Lakes lady.
So, like, I'm fine with I'm fine with the Redskins called the Redskins. That's not my call. I'm not Native American. I'm not, like, if they want to protest against it, that's them. It's not as awful as it sounds. I don't care either way. I don't care what any football team. Like, I know sometimes when a team, they change their name or they change their logo, local fans get upset. Well, that's for the local fans to fight over. That's not for me. You know what I mean? I don't care. So that's where I am on the Redskins and the Indians and all that shit. Let's see. Nick, to be honest, I'm sick of these companies taking taxpayer money and acting independent. Whether you like Trump or not, a lot of these places take taxpayer money and do nothing in return. Yeah, I don't want, dude, I'm the one. I don't like these anyone getting taxed, these billionaires getting taxpayer money or tax subsidies. My biggest issue is actually with big pharma, where we literally fund all their fucking research. We pay for all that, and then they keep all the profits by charging us fucking crazy amounts more than they charge anybody else. Like, yeah, that's what that really drives me nuts. That's why I think big pharma should be nationalized, but that'll obviously never happen. But yeah, like, if he had monetary reasons, I'm fine. But if you're just like, well, you need to change the football team back to this name that I think's funny because it's Redskin, like, that's not a reason. That's not a. If he wants to cut up federal funding to every whatever billionaire thing, I'm all for it. I just don't think that's what he's doing here. I think he's whatever.
It would be nice, but no, that he's probably just trying to.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what Trump's up to lately.
It's probably more just. I think he's trying to, like, hey, the more shit I can get out there, the less Epstein talk we're getting. You know what I mean? And that, or what, talk about this, that, or the other thing. So,
or maybe he's just on X and just threw something, or was that Truth? Maybe he was just on Truth,
yeah.
and just said, "Hey," because I believe he has a person that actually types out his stuff. He doesn't do it himself. He probably just said, "Hey, put this up on Truth."
Yeah, and he's famously just throws shit out there, and if he gets build the wall was just something he threw out there. Drain the swamp was something he just threw out there, and it blew up, so he just went with it. So
I think a lot of Trump's bluster and the things that he talks about and does is just shit that he just throws up on Truth just to see what people think about it.
See what happens. Yeah, I'm with you, young old vibes. Both parties do a lot of that bullshit. It drives me nuts. Like, as much, like, look, I don't think
hold on. I'm gonna have to disagree here.
What?
By eliminating those people from the packaging, racism was cured.
It reminds me of.
You're absolutely wrong, young old vibes. Racism was fixed.
Those famous pictures with Nancy Pelosi and those other Dems, like, wearing, like, African garb and kneeling, and I'm like, yep, that just ended police violence. Good job. Like, yeah, they love doing the symbolism. They don't really like doing the actual work to get shit done. I'll take one more and then we'll play some videos. I can see why people may not like Redskin, but Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben weren't racist caricatures of African Americans. Land O'Lake lady wasn't burning wagons on the back of the bus. Yeah, hey, if they want to bring them back, I'm totally fine. I don't really care either way. I'm a cheap fuck. I buy the store brand, so I don't buy any of that shit anyway. Unless it's on sale.
It was just companies, and they were all doing that at that time because they were
that's what, like,
thing was going on. So they were all wanting to be like, oh, if we want to get the money from all these young protesters and stuff. It was the George Floyd thing and all that sort of stuff. So they we want to show that we're the brand of we want to be the brand of the anarchy. Basically.
This is what I think, and you'll probably agree. Like we talked about, we actually talked about this before, I believe. how this is just the companies do this shit, like when they put Pride stuff or BLM stuff in their stores, they just trying to make money.
Yeah.
And just to prove it, how quickly Target took that shit out when it was being negative against them, like you're not going
If
to
they
see a
really
lot of
cared
that shit.
about, yeah, if they really cared about Pride, they would also change the logos for their international branches as well, which they
Right.
do not.
Right. Yeah. It's all branding. They thought, like, trust
Yeah.
me, if all of a sudden sales go way down and they think there's a big cry for Aunt Jemima to be back, she'd be back, or she will be back.
100%.
You know what I mean? They don't care. Um, it's all just it's all just marketing. All right. Think we'll start off with I'll play the two Tulsi things in a row.
Yeah, I want
So
to see this.
so there were longer interviews. I mean, we could watch if you want. Just so much of it was so there was one interview, I should say, the one she did today. I just kind of clipped. There's like a clip on X where she talked about the main part, because the rest of it is like her and that Badaroma lady showing clips from like 20. Basically, just if you want to relive Trump and his team denying the Russia hoax, which we know what that is. I just kind of like clipped the newer stuff, where they're talking about the documents or the fucking report that she's putting out. So first one
Yeah,
is
that's all I really care
yeah,
about
okay.
anyway. Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, don't 100% care about this from the tip.
Yeah.
Obama's not president. It hasn't been for a very long time.
Sorry. Let's see. So the first one's gonna be when Jesse Waters broke the news or whatever. So that's actually like in its entirety. Then the other one I said is just a clip from did I fucking lose it? Fuck did it go? I think I started fucking around scroll. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna take all these down. Sorry guys. Do my stuttering John. All right. Here we go. Put Jesse up. Oops.
Fox News alert. We just got a peek inside Obama's black book, and it turns out Barack knew the Russia hoax was a hoax all along, but pushed it anyway to sabotage the Trump presidency. DNI Tulsi Gabbard declassifying pages and pages of documents showing Obama's intel guys briefed him just weeks after the 2016 election that the Russians didn't actually sway the election. Quote, we assessed that Russian and criminal actors did not impact the recent U.S. election results. Criminal activity also failed to reach the scale and sophistication necessary to change election outcomes. But Obama just couldn't accept that. So he and his staff instructed intel agencies to cook up new reports to support Russia collusion. Quote, after the meetings, Clapper's executive assistant emailed intelligence community leaders, tasking them to create a new intelligence community assessment per the president's request that detailed the tools Moscow used and actions it took to influence the 2016 election. Tulsi Gabbard described what she found as a conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people. And she says
pause it for a second.
should be prosecuted and has made a criminal referral.
You can literally basically put any politician's name in this. Listen, I hate to break it to everybody, but politicians and your government are lying to you all the time. This another thing. It's like they act like this is the first time that some politician has taken, a small little thing or incident or whatever and turned it into trying to make it some sort of big ass deal. You know what I mean? In order to get at their opponent.
100%. Like, so, this is what sucked for me, Liquid, is I like to, I hate the corporate Dems. So like if they found something on Obama, like I want to be like, yeah, he's fucking, that's awful. Let's get him, and let's get that Epstein shit too. Don't forget about it. Yeah. But this was such like a nothing to me. Like I literally put, all right, if because like they word it like cook the books, but then literally this and then the same details in the next one. It doesn't sound like Obama told them to lie. He told them, all right, just list all the stuff they did do. and just leave out the part where you said you don't think it affected us, whatever it was. I'm not saying it's right, but this is what politicians do. They do it every election.
They exaggerate some minor detail and
Yeah.
try to make it into a scandal for the opposition. That's every single campaign, every single one. It's like, oh, you said hi to this girl. Then next thing it comes out, oh, you said hi to this female one time, and then the next day your opponent's saying how you're cheating on your wife.
Like, there's got to be some bad shit Obama did. Like, I know there is. I know obviously all the taking the bribes, the fucking dropping all these fucking bombs on innocent fucking civilians and shit. Why don't you show me something like that? I don't care. Like, as someone that supported Bernie, you know how much bullshit I had to deal with and all the blame we got, or the bullshit we got when like Hillary lost or whatever. I think it's fucked. I think it sucks, but it's not treason. It's I don't know. When we just throw those words around like that, it's like, all right, yeah. So we're almost done with this one. Then Tulsi's just another short one where she'll kind of explain, but it's mostly the same shit. It's just during the lame duck part of the his presidency, Obama, I don't know, left out parts that may have made Trump look good and put in the parts that made him look bad. Something I expect Trump did on the other side. All politicians do, so it's part of the ugly game of politics.
To the Department of Justice. We knew Hillary created the dossier, and now we have proof that Barack was calling the shots and the documents to prove it. Fox News.
Oops. All right. Instead of finding, I think the other one is I'm on. Oh fuck! I had to scroll all the way down. I was on Tulsi's page. All right. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I'll show you how we'll just look up Tulsi. Go to her page. I'm sure it's one of the first videos. There we go. All right. Yeah, like most of this interview was, like I said, just like not like fluff, but just rehashing Russia, showing clips from 2018, 2019. So this is just the meat of it.
Implications of this are frankly nothing short of historic. Over 100 documents that we released on Friday really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office, after President Trump had already gotten elected. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious it should concern every single American, because it has to.
I just get what? I hate how our media is too. Like the way this started when I was watching Bartiromo comes on and she's like so smug and like, just like we knew and the audience knew, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know Russia's bullshit. The Dems are fucking pathetic. They blame fucking everything but themselves when they fucking lose. 100%. But I don't know why we're rehashing that.
Of all the documents I care to see, these are among the least of them.
No, I think it's something they were like, hey, if we twist this way, then we'll just say it's, I don't know. Like this is shit they've had forever, probably. You know what I mean? And someone
and then literally saying, oh, this is massive and huge. Like, no, it isn't.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Like, I fucking hate, trust me, Obama's the one that screwed over my whole movement, orchestrated that whole coup, whatever. That's fucked up. But I still, again, I wouldn't call it treason. No one, I don't know. It's fucking dirty politics is what it is. That's what it is. It's not treason. Yeah.
Do with the integrity of our democratic republic. What we saw occur here, as the documents we released detailed, was that we had a sitting president of the United States and his cabinet and leadership team, quite frankly, who were not happy with the fact that President Trump had won the election, that the American people had chosen Donald J. Trump to be the next president, commander-in-chief of the United States. And so they decided that they would do everything possible to try to undermine his ability to do what voters tasked President Trump to do. So creating this piece of
Is true. Well, for his first term, both sides were doing that because the Republicans didn't like him either.
Nope, very true.
Manufactured intelligence that claims that Russia had helped Donald Trump get elected, contradicted every other assessment that had been made previously in the months leading up to the election that said exactly the opposite, that Russia had neither the intent nor the capability to try to, quote unquote, hack the United States election for the presidency of the United States. So the effect of what President Obama and his senior national security team did was subvert the will of the American people, undermining our democratic republic, and enacting what would be essentially a years-long coup against President Trump, who was duly elected by the American people.
So yeah, that's
doesn't that last few words sort of lessen the sort of impact of everything because he was elected?
yeah, that's what when I first was watching this shit, I had to rewatch it, and I'm like, okay, after he won the election, blah 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 blah. Well, it didn't affect. To me, it was almost like it's the equivalent of Trump making excuses on why he didn't win the popular vote or why he lost in 2020. It's what these politicians cope when they lose. They fucking cope, and it's never their fault.
Cope hard.
Yep.
This is what was funny when Trump first won, and everybody was talking about it was stolen, and then and then people were making fun of other people saying that it was stolen, like as if that was the first time some politician lost an election and said it was stolen. It's like literally every single presidential election that I've been alive for. The person who loses starts making insinuations that it was stolen and wants recounts and wants things fixed. Every time.
Yeah, and the Dems do it in their own party, like fucking Magnani, whatever the dude's name is, and mayor of New York. They're trying to do everything they can to, even though fuckface lost the primary, they're trying to stick him in there. Like they just don't.
Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, Cuomo. Yeah, they just don't take it well when their guys lose. It's terrible. Metal. Did the FBI also infiltrate the Trump campaign? Nick, I feel this should be illegal no matter who does it. Yeah, I don't know.
That was found out to be accurate, right?
I believe. I'm trying to remember. This is what sucks. I believe. Yeah, I think that shit should not be allowed, but I think it happens all the time. The FBI, the CIA, especially, they infiltrate all sorts of groups. I can almost guarantee that they've infiltrated some of the groups I've been in. So it's.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have probably even interacted with undercover CIA at a protest.
Some of these events. So, no, I agree with you, Metal. Unfortunately, I can't with all this shit. I can't remember exactly if that was true or not. I would not be shocked if it was. And yeah, I agree with you 100%. What's ironic is the FBI usually leans more right wing. It's just that first time around, even like Liquid brought up, even the Republican Party wasn't a fan of Trump. So I don't think that would happen again. But no, I agree. I don't like that shit, but I just assume that shit happens all the fucking time. I still think we need to make an example of anyone doing this. The more we get away from this good old boy. Hey man, I couldn't agree more. I just don't want to get distracted from. You can't call it treason. Like don't just throw that word around. You want to call it corruption? Then let's go after all the corruption. I'm fucking down. I just don't want this to be a big distraction of the more important shit. I love to clean up politics. It's fucking disgusting.
This is ridiculously stupid. Anybody who's calling for treason is also ridiculously stupid.
LOL, Nick, get out of those groups. Well, no, I remember even going back to George W. Bush. I remember seeing something in, I forget, like a news story, a document. It might have been a news story. There was this book club that met like every Friday, once a week. And they got like a new member, this younger guy, because it was mostly older people. All of a sudden he stopped showing up. And it turns out he died, like I think of an accident, but when he died, it came out he was undercover CIA because somebody in the group had said something online against Bush that they took maybe a possible. So they infiltrated a book club. So if they're infiltrating book clubs, I assume they've been in some of the protests I've been at. Yeah,
and infiltrating campaigns and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Now I'm questioning the members of my family.
I mean, I was just thinking, I don't know if I'd ever volunteer for a candidate again because they usually disappoint. But the last time I volunteered for a candidate was Bernie like 5 years ago. And I went to so many of those events. I wouldn't be surprised if there were undercover people there. You know,
Oh, 100%.
I'm not saying it's right, but especially at Bernie of all people, I'm sure they wanted to check out.
Probably DNC moles.
Yeah, 100%. Yep, 100%.
100%.
All right. Well, yeah. So that's all that is. And we pretty much covered Colbert. So we'll just watch some Too Lazy to Try, and then we'll, that'll play us out.
Sounds good.
Here we go. I'll get to the first video. So this, like I said, this was just the end of what the Epstein shit before he gets into how the podcasters are coping with, how they feel Trump was dishonest to them. And like
Actually,
I said,
I'd like to skip straight to that one.
You just want to do that one? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, because the Epstein stuff is getting kind of old.
I can agree with that.
They're not releasing it, and then now at this point, like whatever they release, are you going to trust it?
Yeah, it's true. And then this, like I said, there's a little different shit in there, but we'll just do this one first, in case we run out of time. This one's actually like longer anyway, so this might play us out.
Yeah, I'd rather, as I said, I'd rather watch this than Epstein.
Sounds good.
Epstein stuff, because yeah.
That happened after some criticisms that I had over Trump. Am I off on this? Like, what is the best way to handle like somebody that I voted for that is not living up to their promises? I'm criticizing them, and some responses are, "Well, yeah, you're an idiot." And I was like, I don't know if that's the best way to build a coalition.
All right, so it looks like we're starting to see the comedians that decided to go all in on politics and endorse Trump and have him on their podcast now really coping over Trump not doing what he promised. Or in Joe Rogan's case, Trump actually doing what he promised with the deportations, which his fan base.
I will say that people on X, especially people on the left on X, yelling, "I told you so," is not helping your cause.
No.
Okay. Listen, I'm disappointed in Trump right now for, the Epstein stuff, but mostly, sending more weapons and money to Ukraine than ever before. I didn't vote for that. However, I think he's doing a good job with immigration, and prices on things are coming down. I think generally he's been all right for the 6 months, except for those few disappointing things. But when you got people on the other side yelling, "Ha ha ha, I told you, you should have voted for Kamala." Like, nobody's voting for Kamala.
No, man, this is the shit. This was one of the big because I guarantee you, I can't see what Stuttering John's saying, but I bet you he's saying that shit. I fucking can guarantee it, which is why I tried to get on that fucking show. That's not how you do it. You'll never get the Trump base, obviously, no matter what. And even the right-leaning people, you're not going to get them to come to your side, but you might be able to get them to see, like, you know what, this guy wasn't what I thought he is. But you're not going to get those people by fucking told you so. Like, that's not what you fucking do. You welcome these people.
And the left are 100% not doing that. They've quadrupled down on disliking people who voted for Trump.
Yeah, and what's fucked is, like, then you see, like, the Democrats in Congress trying to get the Epstein files. Obviously, it's just strategy. They're trying to get them released or whatever, and then the Republicans vote against it. But the Democrats don't want it released either. They would have released them under Biden. They don't want. So this is just a fucking.
Well, that's why that's why they, their trials are getting it released. They're attaching it to bills that they know would fail, that they were going to fail because they don't want them released either.
No, 100%.
But they're making a big political theater about it so that they can say, "Oh, look, we tried," and it's like, well, no. What happened is the bill that it was attached to failed because you knew it would.
Yeah, like
it's a bad bill.
If you're like, I'm not a Democrat, but if you're a Democrat voter, you got to know that the Democrat politicians do not want this released. So don't get all on your high horse. You know what I mean? Like, pressure Trump, right? Pressure Trump and them to release it, but just know your party wasn't going to fucking release it either. The best thing you can do.
But a major point is that they didn't like run on the idea that they would release it. Whereas
Yeah,
Trump kind of did.
right. Yeah, that's where he fucked. They went too hard on it, and I think we said last week. Then they made the big mistake of putting Cash Patel and Bongino, two people who talked about it all the time about exposing it. He put them in the position to do that, and then now they can't. So yeah, very, very weird strategy.
But anyway, that's what that guy was
Baltimore.
talking about there, about people that are now calling him stupid and stuff like that. Is something that I myself see on X constantly. So yeah, so people, the lefties on social media, are not helping the cause.
No, 100%. Like I actually I can't think of his name, but I don't mind that guy as much. He's definitely, he's not really a centrist because I've seen him praise shit I like too, like Bernie ideas. He hates both. He seems to hate both parties. He just thought Trump was going to be like different. Like I hope Bernie would be different, that type of thing. So he definitely doesn't like either party when it comes to the usual bullshit. So he's a guy that could be had, but he's not going to be had if you. And don't get me wrong, he doesn't take enough responsibility in this shit, but you still don't fucking laugh in his face. You know what I mean? It's, you try and get him on your side, especially when he's willing to go to your side. You know, but
And then again, you know, the other option was Kamala, which wasn't going to happen.
yeah, they always ran the worst. Like she couldn't get one fucking vote when she ran in one primary, not one fucking delegate, whatever you want to call it, in 2020, and that's who you picked. The first person that dropped out, Tulsi Gabbard, lasted longer than her, and now she works for Trump.
And also, I would like to point out this is something that I never really spoke about often during the election, because I didn't want to, you know, accidentally have something go viral and start screwing votes. Just about every single poll that was showing Harris either close or slightly ahead of Trump, I would go look at, you know, the polling data to see how they're polled.
Yeah,
pretty much every single one of them oversampled Democrats by 15, and even I even saw one that was 30% more Democrats to get her within 5 points of Trump.
yeah, polling's like a joke now. It's like,
So they literally had to overpoll, by about 20-30% to get Kamala Harris to be in, you know, to get to be in firing range of Trump. So Trump was literally probably mostly around 20 to 30 points ahead of Kamala the whole time.
yeah, he fucking annihilated her. And yeah, I forget who, some comedian, it might have been Bill Burr, I forget who the fuck it was, but they're like, who the fuck participates in polls? Who wants to do a poll? It's like older people, like, I don't know, I don't think the young vote, or certain people, certain demographics aren't going to participate willingly in a fucking poll. So that's why I don't trust these fucking things. Obviously they're over-representing certain groups, and that's why.
I mean, even the thing is think about it. They literally had to oversample Democrats to get her within to get her within a rate. Like even Democrats didn't want to vote for her.
Yeah, young old vibes. I agree. One of the big issues she ignored was the whole. I don't. It still wouldn't have put her over. Don't get me wrong. She wasn't nearly close enough. But the Israel-Palestine issue, like, she pretty much took Trump's stance. So she didn't. You at least got to take a chance. Like, I literally know people that didn't vote for her because she didn't back Palestine, and they're mostly Democrats. Republicans aren't going to vote for her anyway, so she should have, like, at least tried something. Yeah. And the big issue I have, and I know they didn't have much time, but nobody likes when you hand select a fucking candidate for them. And the only reason they picked her is because as vice president, she could still use all the funds that they raised for Biden, whatever that connection was. If they got another candidate, there were certain funds that they had already raised that person wouldn't be able to use. So that, and of course the Dems love playing identity politics, so they could play the part Asian, part I don't remember what she is. Indian? I can't remember.
Indian.
That is it.
She's
Yeah.
Indian, yeah. She's like half Indian, half white.
White. Okay. Whatever it was. Yeah. They love doing that. They think people vote that way when they fucking don't. I mean, like I said, she had to drop the first one to drop out in 2020. And in her own party, the young people of color were voting for Bernie. and the old people of color were voting for Biden, the two oldest, whitest guys in the fucking thing. So obviously that identity shit didn't fucking matter.
No, they generally don't. And anyway, back to you. Well, man, you made a previous point I wanted to speak. Whatever.
Metal. Fair enough. I didn't know they gave out shit for polling. I've actually never been asked to poll.
I did once during the Hillary versus Trump, and the polling was very disingenuous, and they said basically who are you going to? They had a bunch of questions, and they said who are you going to vote for, Hillary or Trump? And I said what was his name? The libertarian guy, Johnson.
Yeah.
And I said Johnson. And they said, well, your choices are Hillary or Trump. And I said, well, I'm picking Johnson. I'm not voting for either of them. So, maybe write that in on your poll, or maybe, get some better polling together, because you obviously don't know. They're trying to skew the numbers is what it is. Normally, I bet when they talk to somebody and they say, who are you going to vote for? One or the other, and you say neither or somebody else, then they'll probably just say, well, for the attention of this poll, if you were going to vote for it, and then it comes out and they say these are the amount of people that are voting for it. It's like, well,
yeah, I remember some of the polling they covered back when they obviously this is the shit I was into because I was polling for Bernie, but when they were trying to distort Bernie's chances, like a question would be like, would you vote for a socialist or would you vote for a democratic socialist, whatever it was? And the number wouldn't be nearly as high. But then when they'd start polling on the policies like universal health care, whatever, universal background check, shit like that, the policies would poll much higher. So when you ask people on Bernie's policies, he did great. But when you threw the word socialist out there, they would do that on purpose to be like, oh, people aren't, vote for Bernie. So the way they word questions on a lot of these polls are very intentional to try and get a certain answer from the people. Yes, I remember. God, they always have that moment. I remember when Hillary had hot sauce in her purse. I remember
about to say hot sauce. Yeah,
when Kamala started talking, she started having a little accent when she was in the inner city, trying to act like she was a sister or whatever. It's such phoniness.
I remember what I was going to say. The Palestine thing. She did remember to go to a pro-Palestine rally. Kamala did, and then like 2 days later was all in on Israel.
No kidding. I mean, God, fucking. I know we're not talking about her, but fucking AOC, who's all in support of Palestine. I think she just voted to give Israel more money. Like there was something to like cut. I forget some of the. It's like you're such a fucking hypocrite. Like you're such a yeah. I don't know. She drives me nuts. Like
that, especially for the left, the Palestine Israel question for politicians, especially on the left, because the left is so divided. Like the voters are so divided over that issue that it's got to be just the craziest landmine for a Democrat politician trying to, make some headway. And then you get asked that question, and then it's like it's a landmine no matter which way you step.
Yeah, I remember they tried using that as an excuse, like when Kamala lost. They're like, "Oh, she went too far to the left. She was this with Palestine." It's like, no, she wasn't. She wasn't. Like, you're just making shit up. I guess that's treasonous now, but they were just making fucking shit up because they want to blame who the fuck they want to blame. But she ignored that issue like the fucking plague when she ran. She didn't want to talk about Israel or Palestine. And,
yeah, that's probably a good move for most politics. Well, on the right, unfortunately, everybody's just all 100% in on Israel on the right. So, but yeah, the left, man.
Yeah, it is a tough one.
I kind of got to feel bad for them, because that's just you're just going to piss off half your voting base, no matter which way, no matter what you say. You're going to either piss off all your voting base by not being on one side or the other, or you're going to piss off half if you're on one side or the other. So, what are you going to do? Just boring. Just
good day, Brent. How's it going on Australia today? And young old vibes. You're sorry, I'm not trying to dox you, but I think you brought up the floods. So I think you're in the other week. So I think you're in Texas. So you are stuck with Ted Cruz. I apologize. Probably my least favorite politician before Trump. He still might be. Him, Ted Cruz on the fucking right, and fucking stupid fucking bitch Nancy Pelosi on the left. Oh, if I could get a no, I shouldn't even say it.
Yeah, don't say
Bro,
that.
but Rogan is like, man, this is insane. And of course, he acts all surprised by it.
We were told there would be no, well, there's two things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up in construction sites, raiding them, gardeners.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Or Palestinian students on college campuses.
So Rogan endorsed Trump.
Yeah, you can't be surprised that Trump did. Like, I'm sorry. I think you agree with me, Liquid. Like, I don't know. Maybe at certain times Trump tried to downplay it, but he wasn't hiding what he was doing. And if you follow politics, he's got what the fuck, that slime bald dude in his 30s. I hate when I blank on a name when I'm fucking anyway, I'll try and think of it. Yeah, there's no surprise that he was going to get rid of all these immigrants.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people come to this misunderstanding about it just being criminals and stuff is that he said at first we're going to begin with getting rid of all the criminals, but the goal is to get rid of all the illegals.
Yeah. So, like I said, I hate what he's doing, but this isn't one of the. To me, it's not one of the.
It's not a super big gotcha.
Yeah, it's not a. It's not like he acted like he wasn't gonna do it. Like, yeah. So I don't know, Rogan. I don't know why you guys thought he wasn't gonna do this. Yeah.
Trump and interviewed him for 3 hours, but he didn't do enough research or ask him enough questions to know that him and his fan base wanted mass deportations. I mean, this is an issue that most of Trump's base would say is exactly what they voted for. So it's hilarious for Rogan to act all surprised by this. And seeing these comedians cope over Trump is the funniest they've been in years. You know, watching Schultz cope over this is like watching a kid realize Santa isn't real, while also at the same time trying to act like he always knew that. I mean, he sounds so confused because he went off about how he voted for Trump to decrease government spending, stop wars, and release the Epstein files. But so far, he's basically just done the opposite of that. So after everyone made fun of Schultz for just believing everything Trump says, the next episode, he's sarcastically like, guys, apparently politicians lie. Who knew? I had no idea. You know, he's saying this like, no shit, I know politicians lie. But obviously he didn't, or he's just playing dumb because he says he believed everything Trump said. And Schultz still thinks Trump actually wanted to do that stuff. But I guess he thinks the deep state got to him or some shit like that.
I know this is crazy, but did you know that politicians lie?
Wow. That's something I just found out.
Wow. Someone was like, Trump's a fucking liar. You didn't know he was a fucking liar? And I was like, oh, I thought they were all liars. I didn't realize that there were people that tell you the truth.
Everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of every single fucking thing. Like, they'll do
Well,
everything.
not
You see
every
what-
single thing. Just
Yeah.
some of the things that I was, listen, I expected him. Let me be 100% honest. We talked about this before. I'm not surprised that they're not releasing the Epstein files. That's legitimately the least surprising thing. Like, if they had released them, then I would have been more surprised.
Me too. Yep.
Increasing weapons, especially offensive weapons to Ukraine. Yeah, okay. No, I'm very upset with that and vocally condemn that. But for some reason, that just doesn't seem to be in the news.
You're right.
He said it a couple of times, but nobody's freaking out about it. That's where, Cat Turd and Gunther Eckelman really need to, to sort of shore things up. Like, that's what I'm upset about. It's like, I thought we were not going to be no more, money for foreign wars.
Yeah.
But everything else, he's doing what he said. He's the inflation has gone down, obviously, way down. Illegals are being deported. I'm still not 100% behind that one big beautiful bill because we got to kind of I guess we're going to see if it works. But the last time that they said, you know, in 2017 when he put all the bill, put in all those tax breaks, you know, the CBO said that it's going to cause major deficits. It did not. So I mean, well, you know, it's unfortunately the United States economy isn't something that anybody can just look at and go, yeah, okay, this is going to fuck everything up, because they're generally wrong. But so, you know, so these guys are incorrect. It's just the things that they wanted, he's not doing.
Yeah, with me on those issues, I 100% I didn't think he'd release the Epstein files. On funding the wars, I was torn on because I think Trump can be swayed. It depended who was around him. Because I don't, you know, like he wants that Nobel Peace Prize, so you hope, you know what I mean? It just depends like who got to talk to him last on funding that shit. So I wouldn't have been surprised either way on that one. And the one I'm not really surprised at is really the debt deficit, whatever. Like, no politician's ever going to reduce that shit anymore. It's just never going to happen. So I didn't think that. I'm not shocked at the spending either. But yeah, immigration, he's doing what I thought. And like I said, as far as the wars and the weapons, I could have went either way on that. I wouldn't have been shocked either fucking way. Young
I'm a little
old
bit shocked at Ukraine, especially after he, you know, unceremoniously dismissed.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a
Zelensky.
fair point. Yeah, no, you're right. That one, like, I kind of just meant like in general. Like, I'm not shocked at bombing Iran, whatever. Like, I'm not shocked. But I'm not shocked if they don't do that either. Like I said, Trump, I think, can be swayed. Like, he's not a classic warmonger like these other people, but he likes to look tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can. It depends what you can say to him. Yeah, young old unblood nipple babies like Schultz telling us poor common people who to vote for. Like, I think everyone obviously has the right. You know, it's free speech. You endorse or say who you want. It's just a lot of the common folk watch him and Rogan and people like that, and we're not in the same boat as these people. Like, I still remember when Rogan got COVID, and he was saying all this shit. He had his doctor prescribe him this, and this. He took that, and that, and he's acting like we can do all that shit. It's like, maybe in Hollywood you get to tell your doctor what to prescribe you. It doesn't work for us common folk. And I can't buy all this shit you bought, and I can't buy some fucking chamber that you sat in or whatever. But I guess it's awesome you can do that shit, but obviously regular folk have different needs and priorities and resources than these guys have.
You see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like,
And almost every comment on these podcasts is negative, which of course Schultz acts like he doesn't understand why people are criticizing him. You know, he just keeps acting like people are saying he shouldn't be able to call someone out who he voted for. But I think the point most people are trying to make is Schultz should have known better, and he should take more accountability, which he refuses to. Instead, he comes up with all these excuses and just hopes his fans are dumb enough to fall for them. You know, because with these podcasters, you have to remember they're not stupid, but they think you are. Like, Schultz is just banking on his fans being like, yeah, who could have known Trump wouldn't follow through on this stuff? At least he's calling him out now. But Schultz should have known better from the start. Instead, he obviously just got caught up in the grift. Now he's trying to backtrack by playing dumb and acting like he was just thrown into politics. But he's the one who decided to get heavily involved in politics, which he didn't need to do. I doubt many of his fans wanted him to. You know, he's supposed to be a comedian, not a political commentator. There's no reason he needs to interview a presidential candidate. And this just confirms that, because Schultz already got played. But instead of him just admitting that, or admitting he's a useful idiot, or he shouldn't have gotten so caught up in politics, he tries to act like, well, what did you want me to do? You know, do you want me to endorse Kamala or grill Trump when he went on my podcast? But another option there is to just not endorse or interview either and just make fun of them like a comedian is supposed to do.
I can get behind that, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And even if he did have them on, no, I don't want you to endorse Harris. If you wanted to grill Trump, that would have been good. Like, and if you had Harris on, grill her too. Like, you as comedians, you guys can even ask questions that the fucking media is going to be afraid to fucking ask. So I think there's some missed opportunities that, like, even me, like Bernie's been on Rogan a couple times, and I mean, Rogan was a little tougher on Bernie the second time, but the first time, I mean, even though I love Bernie, it was a softball interview. You know, it was because he was agreeing with Bernie at the time, so he didn't really push Bernie on shit. He pushed him more the second time because now he was more with Trump. But yeah, that just shows that like if you're gonna have a politician on, you can't be buddies with him. So if you feel like you have to, then I wouldn't have them on. Just make fun of them. But
as this guy said, if you're going to be a comedian in politics, then you should be making fun of all politicians. Is probably the best way to go.
what's going on, King of all diffs? Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I don't want to fund them. I'll tell you that.
River to the sea, baby.
Yeah, they can pay for their own Iron Dome.
You know, his job is to make fun of people, especially high-profile politicians. But instead, it turned into him glazing them and endorsing them because the grift was too appealing to him. Obviously, the podcast was going to get a ton of views, and it was kind of a safe play at the time. You know, Theo Von and Lex Friedman just had on Trump, and he's scheduled to go on Rogan. So it wasn't that controversial. But now that Trump is getting a lot of backlash for the Epstein stuff and how he's handling things in the
It's crazy how that shit changed because, like I said, Trump didn't even go on Rogan like the first couple times he ran, and now he goes on every. That was like Rogan's buddies all got him too. It was such a change. I wonder if that's going to be the new norm.
Well, I think it was Barron. I believe
Yeah.
Barron is the one that got Trump to get on all these podcasts.
Yeah, I did hear that too. I remember like Trump met with some guy. I don't like. He wasn't even like a political guy, but he was some influencer that Barron loves. So it was like that got that whole fucking thing rolling.
Middle East. Schultz, it's a safe time for him to start backpedaling. But thankfully, people are seeing through his bullshit. So now he's been spending the last few weeks just coping over it every podcast. It's wild to watch. You know, they're just grasping at straws here. And Akash keeps having meltdowns over it. You know, they're not handling it well. And it's gotten so pathetic. Now Schultz is begging the left to accept him because he keeps saying people on the left are the ones criticizing him, even though also pretty much his whole audience is, which I don't think everybody in his audience is on the left. But he keeps saying that the left should be welcoming him to their side because now he's turned on Trump. And he says they're all being selfish for criticizing him since their side could use him and his massive influence. So this just reeks of desperation. You know, it's like, guys, stop being mean to me. I want to join your side.
I think they think we were supposed to dunk on Trump immediately, make him get up and walk off in 30 seconds, and now we're all happy. No. Well, good Democrat, if somebody wants to change their mind on Donald Trump, says, no, you're not allowed to. And instead of wondering what maybe made you vote for him, you just say, you're stupid, you're a bad person, we don't change anything.
Oh,
we're perfect.
Because I figured what they would want to do is maybe win the midterms.
Oh, no.
Or maybe even win the election.
But you don't want to win, you want to be right just on Twitter.
So just right now.
Yeah, on Twitter for 5 minutes.
The most selfish thing that they could possibly be.
Yeah,
so only them. Just get some clicks and views.
Of course. Because you don't actually have to care about like what the state of America.
Right. It's not like we live in a democracy where you lost and you actually need people that are disillusioned to go on your side.
So you got to go to the party that just doesn't have primaries for candidates.
That's where you go. I get it.
And if you're upset by that, you love Trump and everything he did and every lie he tells.
But if you actually care about what's happening in the country, maybe you would want to talk to some different people, and maybe you would hope to build a coalition and move some votes back over to the Democrats if you think that they have a better idea for America. But obviously that's not what you want. But God forbid we shine a light on the people who...
You know what I'm getting a lot of? You talked to him. You platformed him as if he was at 0%. And then we talked to him and then he won the election.
Oh, yeah. Nobody had heard about Trump before he went on this show.
Yeah, this is just like two groups of people with fucking ego problems. Like what they're saying isn't entirely wrong. Like I agree. Like yes, I have no problem with your audience criticizing you, but they should do it in a certain way. You know, not call you stupid. You know what I mean? Be like, yeah, man. You know, you should. I wish you pushed them. I wish when Trump was on, you had pushed them on these things. You know, in a nice way like that. And then welcome them. He's right. Just insulting them is dumb because you could use their help, but he's contradicting himself here, like saying, "Oh yeah, we platformed Trump like no one knew who he was." Agreed. Obviously, people knew Trump, but you're also saying you're also acting very important. Like you need me and my influence involved. So it's I don't know. He's playing like both sides of it, but
I think wasn't he saying that a bunch of the criticisms that he's getting is, you know, that they platformed him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just was like, all the stuff that they're complaining about right here is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the of the show where the people on the left have basically quadrupled down, and I don't know what these guys are talking about. It's not only can you criticize the person that you voted for, that should be the number one person you're critical of.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yep. So I don't know. I think politics is a new world for these guys, so they still have to figure it out. All these comedic podcasters.
He had fucking no shot of winning.
Hold on.
People were like, "This guy's a monster. He's not a human being." Then we humanize him. That's what he keeps saying.
Let's game theory this, Akash.
Yeah.
Okay, we are so powerful and influential by simply sitting down with him.
Yeah.
Right? We made him president.
Yeah.
So one would think that if we are disillusioned by some of the things that he is doing as president, and we're upset that that same influence might be able to make someone else president. So shouldn't you be embracing this massive influence?
Yeah,
that you
come
say
to
we
our
have?
side.
Claim we have, Or you just want to take no accountability for the fact that you ran a dead guy and a woman that couldn't speak. I wanted something different. I was hoping for some sort of change.
Oh no, yeah. Then you should have voted for Kamala. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well,
Kamala's platform was literally nothing's going to change.
Yeah, it was classic Democrat off. Like that's the past 2 elections. Not Trump, and nothing will change. Even though nobody's fucking happy right now. They never run on fucking anything.
Yeah, didn't she literally answer the question? They said, "What are you going to do different than Joe?" And she said nothing.
Yeah, she's like business as usual or whatever the fuck, something to that effect. Yeah, but I just find this funny because I don't know. Like I said, I don't disagree with Schultz and what his guys are saying.
Yeah, I'm not so far about finding anything I disagree with them.
Yeah, I actually disagree more with Too Lazy to Try here, but I still think it's a good video. But obviously, I'm not going to agree with everything he says. But I just find it's ironic. Schultz, he's kind of doing back to them what they did to him, so he's like insulting them back. So it's like neither group is. This is the problem with our society. They're just going to shit on each other, and who the fuck knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just a fucking idiot, obviously. I didn't understand how this, information economy works.
Yeah, you don't understand democracy.
Yeah, damn, democracy's tough, dude.
And then Schultz also brought on these Democrat podcasters and this congressman to help him cope over this. That's how badly he's trying to save face. He basically wants these influential people on the left to tell their side that they should be more accepting of him. So it's just sad. And of course, they're nice about it. They're kind of just like, yeah, we don't expect the average person to be that informed, to really know everything about Trump and everything he's said and done and what he's lying about, which I agree with most people. They don't have the time to follow things that closely and be that informed. But unfortunately, Schultz put himself in a position where he's the one informing people on what's going on. Sadly, he's interviewing politicians and he's really invested in politics now. So he's not the average person who's working a 9 to 5 and has just an hour or two to figure out what's going on in the world. I mean, it's his job to pay attention to what's going on in the world and try to explain it to people. So he should be more prepared. That's the point everyone's trying to make. The fact that Schultz really believed that Trump was going to drain the swamp and release the Epstein files shows he has no idea what's going on.
What is the best way to handle somebody that I voted for that is not living up to their promises? I'm criticizing them. And some responses are, well, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. And I was like, I don't know if that's the best way to build a coalition. What do you think? What do you think about that, Sean?
No, that shit drives me nuts because I think, first of all, Trump lies a lot. He's always lied a lot. And it also assumes that every single person in America was supposed to be paying attention to every single word that Donald Trump has ever said.
Right.
And which they're not. But then aside from all that, like you said, if you want to persuade people to join your coalition, which is how you actually win elections, then when someone says, "Oh, I'm disappointed in the person I voted for," you say, "Well, welcome."
Are you delicate about it? Do you feel like you have to be even more critical? Are you ever concerned that you guys have so much influence that your critiques could sway voters away? How do you hold your own party accountable is basically what I'm asking.
I mean, about a year ago after the debate between Biden and Trump, we sort of immediately after the debate said that it was fucking awful and that Biden should seriously think about whether he needs to stay in the race. And, we weren't too popular for a while.
And then
some of us said that before the fucking debate when he didn't know what the fuck he was doing 4 years ago. He didn't know what the fuck he was. Now these guys don't act like fucking heroes. But I'm Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. I saw Ro Khanna on the bottom and I lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I gonna say?
But yeah, coming to the conclusion of Biden wasn't fit for president after the debate, it's a little too late.
Yeah, I
Might be a
mean,
lot too late.
I think everyone said that. So to me, that's not even accurate. I remember like literally like Nancy Pelosi said he needed to drop out after the fucking debate. So that wasn't a very bold take. I remember my uncle getting mad at me because I said he should have dropped out before that when he clearly didn't know what the fuck was going on and we shouldn't run again. But I mean,
well, I do remember the left being pretty divided after the debate.
It was, yeah.
With
Oh,
people
was it
saying,
really?
"Oh, he needs to drop out," and then, yeah, they're complaining about the mainstream media talking about how he needs to drop out, and then people on X and all the smaller journalists are saying, "No, he's sharp as a tack."
I must be misremembering. I mean, I remember it being split before that, but I don't know. The conclusion he should drop out must not have come as I remember Stuttering John being defending him, I think. And then when they finally dropped out, all three of them were like, "Yeah, that's like they just don't believe in anything." Fucking.
Well, yeah, he sent the message on X that he's dropping out while they were on a show.
That's right, while they were live.
And
yeah.
they were literally talking about how great a shape and how good a shape Biden is in, and he's got great mental acuity. I think they literally did say "sharp as a tack" several times.
Unbelievable.
Like literally at that moment when Biden dropped out, and then somebody tried to send a message to John saying, "Hey, Biden dropped out," after Army Major and Karen left, and he says, "Oh, I don't believe you."
Unbelievable. I remember what I was gonna say. Like this is tough for me because like they're talking like they're talking to Democrat podcasters and how do you win the midterms and that could like I don't even like the fucking I don't know. I don't like either fucking side. It's like I want to push whoever's in charge to do what they should be fucking doing. But not being a Democrat, it's like I'm not fully invested in this fucking thing either. It's I don't know, it's tough like feeling you have no representation in the government. I don't think most of us do. We don't really, just some people think they do, unfortunately. Right before we get back to this clip, Ro Khanna on the bottom, I met this man at one of my rallies for Bernie. It was in New Hampshire. They one of probably the smallest one I went to. I remember it was on my birthday, and it was like advertised as dinner with Bernie, and you don't really eat with Bernie, but they did give you a dinner. And Ro Khanna was the opening speaker, so yeah, got to meet Ro.
Schultz also cries about this to a congressman, and he's like, "We should have the right to hold people in power accountable and criticize them, right?" Which is ironic considering that's just what his fans are doing. They're trying to hold him accountable like people try to hold the mainstream media accountable. Influential podcasters should be held to the same standard. Like they all admit they've replaced the mainstream media because the mainstream media lost its credibility. But at this point, I don't know if Schultz and Rogan are much better. I mean, I guess at least Schultz isn't scared to criticize someone he endorsed, but I've noticed these podcasters, what they do is they constantly talk about how bad the mainstream media is. But then when people try to hold them to the same standard, they hold the mainstream media too. They're like, "Hey, I'm just trying my best. I'm a comedian. This isn't my job to talk about this stuff." I mean, Rogan always resorts to being like, "Hey, it's just me here, just me and Jamie. You can't expect that much from me. And, I'm an idiot. People shouldn't take me that seriously," even though he's arguably the most influential person on the planet. But they will do anything to try to avoid accountability, like we see here with Schultz. And he also acts like he's just thrown into this mess. He's like, "We were just thrown into this political mess, but they chose to throw themselves into it." Him and his giggling goons, they keep trying to act like they had to have Trump on and they had to get this involved.
So I guess the question I have is, are they comedians with a podcast, or do we hold them like they're media and they should? I don't know.
And they are doing what they need to be doing with a candidate that isn't doing what they said they would do. It's that they're criticizing him for it. They're on the show saying, "Hey, he's not doing the thing that we wanted him to do," and that's what you did.
No,
I don't.
100%.
Yeah, I kind of have to disagree with "Too Lazy to Try." Actually,
Yeah, the only issue I have is I think they should have pushed him harder during the interview. I think whenever they have a politician on, yeah, you can have some buddy moments, obviously, when you guys agree with shit, but I still think you should push him or her harder, and they didn't do that. So, but I don't know if I'm supposed to hold them accountable like the media, or they're just jack off comics with a podcast. What can I fucking expect? I don't know.
They're just jack off comics with the podcast. What can you expect?
Yeah.
In politics, but they chose this, and this is why comedy sucks now. It's crazy, these podcasters, they used to complain about late night shows being too political and it ruining comedy, but now they're no different, except I will say there are a lot of comedians that see this and also hate it, like Mark Norman and Joe List. They're complaining about it. Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino too. I made a whole Patreon video about that if you're interested. I've been talking a lot about this stuff over on Patreon, but they all think it's really weird. I'm sure Shane Gillis thinks the same thing. Like, he's the perfect example of a comedian knowing his lane, because after he got canceled, it became like a culture war thing, and the right was trying to claim him as theirs. But he's like, I'm just here to goof around and make people laugh. I'm not trying to get involved in all this nonsense. That's not my job. And that's why he's one of the most successful comedians now. But comedians like Schultz and Theo Von and Joe Rogan, they're just lost in the sauce.
We live in this like weird time where any measure to hold them accountable comes with immediate criticism. Your experience as a politician, or I guess we experience it as, for whatever people thrown in this, political mess. But there has to be a version, I think, also where as Democrats, like, this is a democracy. You want votes. You don't have enough. You lost last time, right? You want to win this time? If you see people that seem to have swayed over to Trump that are now disillusioned with Trump, you have the opportunity to build a coalition with those people. And you don't build a coalition by just going, hey, fucking idiot, why would you, stupid fucking, that's not how you build. I'm not some fucking Democrat cult member, Republican cult member. Like, we're supposed to be free Americans that can make up decisions on our own, call balls and strikes, as you say, and then hold the people in power accountable. When people fail us on the promises they make, we should criticize them. Like, what is the alternative? We just vote and then agree with every single thing that person does. A lot of, staunch liberals who pretended that the person they voted for wasn't dead for 4 years. Like, they pretended Biden wasn't senile for 4 years, and we're getting lectured for criticizing the person that I voted for. Like, I think
they're pretending they had a really viable, awesome candidate that we all should have voted for, and not just acknowledging.
Lecturing you. I mean, I don't get it, because they think we
platformed him. We talked to him.
Not even that. It's just they're like, you should have known better. This guy's a career con man. He just always lies. You should have known. And it's like,
so dumb. That's why the Democrats lost. It'd be like, look,
And Schultz also addressed.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually making good plays. So obviously, you know how I am. I would never vote for Trump, but I didn't vote for fucking Harris either. The Democrats ran the two worst people they could have fucking ran, pretty much. So their voters should acknowledge that and be a little more sympathetic to anyone who's willing to admit that, or their disillusions with Trump, that he's not doing what he hoped that, or he or she hoped Trump would do. So I watched this once when it first came out, this one, but I'm agreeing more and more with Schultz. And not with
that's what I'm saying. Like, a problem with a lot of people on the left is that they deluded themselves into thinking that the candidates were good.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, awful. I think that's also a huge issue. And I mean, a lot of the base voter Democrat base voters seem to, I guess, respond to Trump bad.
Yeah, like I think a lot of the Trump base just likes whatever Trump said. Oh, this is good now. Oh, now it's bad. But the Democrat base is whatever candidate they throw up. Oh, this person's great. If you look in the Harris's fucking history, she's fucking terrible. Not even just politically, but when she was fucking
I don't know. She had some good winners there. She locked up a lot of black people in California.
Oh, I was gonna say, what's ironic is she's one of the more conservative Democrats. You know what I mean, when it comes to like many things. But most people, they don't know that. They just like, and her, not that it matters, but her fucking fake laugh drives me nuts. It doesn't matter. Like, policy matters more to me, but I've come to learn that most people don't vote on policy. They vote on feelings, unfortunately. And she doesn't get very good feelings. So Terrible.
Not asking Trump about Epstein. He says he didn't ask him because he thought he'd just give a generic or predictable response. So I guess he thought there's no point in asking him, which just sounds so ridiculous and is clearly a cope. Either Schultz didn't want to upset Trump or Trump told them not to talk about it. Like, I don't know how him and Rogan could be this obsessed with Epstein and then have on a friend of his and someone who could potentially release the files and not ask them a single question about it. That's really strange. And Schultz is just like, well, what did you think was going to happen? He'd just admit to diddling kids. Like, if he's not going to admit it, then there's no point in asking about it, which just makes no sense. I mean, people wanted to hear him talk about it because they wanted to know if he would release the list and hold the people on it accountable. And also, it's a way to see if he sounds suspicious or not when he's talking about it. Who knows what he would have said in response to it. Like, previously, he had said he would release the files, but there could be some phony stuff in there. So he'll have to take a look at it first. And if Schultz asked him about this and that was his response, you would think as a comedian, he'd be like, it kind of sounds like you want to see if your name's in there first. Then that would have aged really well for Schultz. But instead, he thought there's no point, which is just total cope, because also he had asked a previous guest about it who's been on Epstein's plane, RFK Jr. He was on there and Schultz asked him about it and his response was wild. So I don't believe Schultz for a second here, because also if he had asked Trump about it, the clip would have went viral for sure. Even if Trump just said, yeah, I'll release the list, it still would have gotten a lot of attention and just been another example of Trump lying about it.
Yeah, I actually do agree with this part. Like, you ask any, like, somebody, just to bring it back to the Dabbleverse, somebody called in on but Dabbling Live when Joey C was on and asked about Mike's shitty internet provider, and Joey just looked like he was totally lying and trying to get through the call, and didn't want to talk about his death or if he's dead or whatever. So you can have that kind of moment with Trump if you ask about Epstein and just see how he responds. Trump usually responds pretty coolly, so I don't think he would have like thrown off any kind of vibes, but he may have given one of his word salad fucking answers or whatever. And so to me, it is worth asking, especially if you're asking other people that were on the plane. But just my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I think
that's something that I guess they should have asked. Like, I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion on it. You do your show. You do your show. It's hindsight is 20/20, and you can't let the other people who aren't doing your show tell you how to do your show.
Yeah, correct. I to be fair, I've seen clips of him. I don't watch him, so I don't know how often he talks about Epstein. But if 2lay2try is being truthful and he talks about it a lot, then yeah, it would be kind of weird that you have the president on or potential president on, you don't ask. But that would be my one criticism on it. It just goes with my general feeling that if you're gonna have a presidential candidate on, you can't be all buddy and softball-y. You gotta push some issues.
Schultz is completely full of shit here.
I think it's like there was when we had Trump on, people were like, why didn't you ask him about Epstein? I was like, so he could give the same answer that he's given 100 times about being with Epstein. Like, do you think that if we asked him about Epstein, that he'd be like, yeah, I used to kids with him? Like, you think he's just gonna open up because he's hanging out with it? It's gonna be the same answer every single time, right? So yeah.
A little
okay, but give the
That's
context.
not a
Obviously,
bad
to
take either.
Yeah, I guess I still would have asked. I guess that's just a matter of opinion. I'm sure he asked a bunch of other questions that Trump's been asked a million times too. So that's what happens. But I don't know. You're a comedian. Come up with a creative way to ask it. A funny way to talk about a very uncomfortable situation and see what he says.
Epstein thing, because you basically got out
okay.
ahead
So
of the.
So first of all, I'm in New York for most of my life.
Yeah.
So you run into everybody in New York. I mean, I knew Harvey Weinstein. I knew Roger Ailes. I knew O.J. Simpson came to my house. Bill Cosby came to my house.
You also knew good people.
Yeah, I did know a lot of them, but you don't know these people are swamp creatures until all this stuff comes out.
So these podcasts went from comedians just goofing around with their friends to now them coping over political endorsements. It's wild. And with Rogan, he at least used to grill the people on his show. You know, he'd get into debates, he'd have heated arguments. And at one point, it seemed like he actually was just an independent podcaster that was trying to get the answers to things. But now he's clearly sold out, and every politician or billionaire he has on is just a softball interview, and he glazes them the whole time. And even the other day, when he was talking about Kash Patel just lying to his face on his podcast, he was like, what am I supposed to do? Push back? It's like, yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And of course, he always tries to avoid Trump's involvement with Epstein. Whenever somebody brings it up on his podcast, he gets really uncomfortable about it and tries to change the subject, which I've talked a lot about over on Patreon. But he hasn't talked about the latest fallout yet after the whole DOJ investigation into it and Trump calling it a hoax and saying you're a bad person if you keep talking about it and you're part of the fake news. You know, Trump basically called Rogan and most of his followers idiots. So I'm looking forward to Rogan's response, but odds are he'll probably just cuck out because he's in too deep now. He doesn't want to ruin his relationship with the administration. I mean, he has meetings with Trump, he gets calls from him, and he was at his inauguration with Theo Vaughn. So they're just part of the establishment at this point. And Rogan has to walk a fine line looking into Epstein and cover up because he has to act like he's still just trying to get answers. But if he looks too much into it, it goes back to Trump. So I don't know how he'll play this. But one thing we know is he doesn't care enough to push back when somebody's lying to his face on his podcast about it.
Nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what? Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible shit? Why did they say that?
Right. I just need to say something real quick. I think Too Lazy to Try should stop dealing with political issues. I think he's the guy that needs to, you know, kind of go back to not doing political stuff.
Yeah, this is like the only political shit I've seen, but it's been like the past 2 weeks. I don't know. I kind of find it interesting because he's like seems like a normie to me, and even this video, I agree with half and I disagree with half. Like I actually agree with this part. Like I said, I disagreed a lot of the Schultz shit, but yeah, I do agree that like Rogan's gonna talk about it now, but he didn't talk about it when he had Trump on. I don't know. I mean, I'm beating it into the ground here, but I think all these guys should have pushed him, not just that issue, but other issues, like pushed him on it, you know. Or even immigration. Be like, so you're not going to deport the ones that are doing good work? Like, because obviously they misunderstood what he fucking said. So, like, I don't know. I mean, part of that is hindsight, to be fair. But yeah, as I said 1,000 times, if he's going to have them on, I think they should have been tougher, which is why I agree with Too Lazy to Try. But I disagree on the parts where he's saying that.
You're going to have a big time politician, especially somebody as big and famous as Trump. I mean, how many people are just going to go ahead and, you know, even if he wasn't president, he was still Trump, and they're still gonna wash his balls.
Yeah, like I think they're more letting it show that they're not this everyman, that, you know, they're more Hollywood or establishment or whatever than they try and let on.
Yeah.
But
he say that?
What are you talking about, Epstein or did he?
Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah, she said it literally, I think, a week before you had the FBI director sitting here telling you there was nothing, right?
She said something about that there was like thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible crimes.
There is. And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
Kash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. No,
I mean,
of course. I
obviously,
understand.
He's saying what he has to say.
Right.
Mystery surrounds the Jeffrey Epstein files after Bondi claims tens of thousands of videos. Tens of thousands. Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you what.
Chill. Oh, my God. Was reviewing tens of thousands of videos, the wealthy financier with children or child. The comment made to reporters of the White House days after a similar remark to a stranger with a hidden camera raised the stakes for President Donald Trump's administration to prove it has in its possession previously unseen compelling documents, or just bomb Iran, and everybody forgets.
Just bomb Iran, yeah.
Everybody forgets about it.
And how the Rogans.
See, Joe, you do know how politics works, and that's not a Trump thing. That's an every president thing. They need a distraction, we'll go bomb somebody. Bill Clinton was very good at that.
Years handling this Epstein debacle has been really interesting because they could really put a lot of pressure on Trump and his administration. You know, they could put them on the spot, which they're kind of acting like they're trying to do, but also at the same time, they're trying to do whatever they can to blame it on anyone but Trump. Like Rogan posted this stupid meme about it where it's Trump fighting the deep state or the swamp. And then he gets back to his corner. He's like, man, the swamp has hands. So Rogan is basically just an NPC at this point. Like, how could you not realize Trump doesn't want to release the list because he's on it? You know, every time he talks about it, it seems like he makes it more obvious. And Trump, he is the deep state. You know, he's part of the swamp, which of course Rogan can't admit because that means he's part of it. And then also Tim Dillon, he's going with this talking point as well.
Stretch.
So I think he probably got.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, so it depends what the swamp is. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say Rogan's in the swamp. He's just a comedian who's fucking. I agree with that.
And Rogan's doing the only thing he can do. He's saying he was lied to. I mean, what does he think Rogan's going to do?
Yeah, I think at this point it's clear Rogan has a personal relationship with Trump, so you have to take that into consideration
But
when
he's
he
still
talks about
pushing
Trump.
back on some of the stuff that Trump is doing.
Yeah, I like it. Like I'm glad he's saying that shit. The bomb Iran thing was, that was a good take. A joke and a take at the same time. But yeah, no, I agree. He's not in the swamp. I was actually more talking like, I don't even know if I put Trump in the swamp because I don't know what the swamp is. I put Trump in the establishment elite. I always thought that was obvious if people try to act like he's not. But to me, swamp is people like Bolton and I don't know. Like I just think of all these like classic lifetime Washington D.C. warmongers. Is what I put in there. But yeah, no, I agree. It's Rogan's not in the swamp just because he's just a comedian trying to act like a journalist, but failing. Because he's
Once again, it's this guilt by association thing that Too Lazy to Try seems to be trying to put forth here.
Yeah, he seems to have a little more of an agenda with this one than I can agree with that. But like I said, I'm interested in hearing what a regular dude's opinions are, and I agreed with about half and disagreed with probably the other half.
At the call, which is really disappointing because for a while it seemed like he was just calling it like he sees it and he didn't have any allegiance to anyone anymore. I mean, he even outed Peter Thiel, who's Rogan's handler. Tim said that he tried to have a meeting with him and pay him off essentially so he'd start promoting his agenda. So I was like, damn, he does not give a fuck anymore. But after this, it sounds like he got the call because on his podcast, he did this bit about how everyone in politics is a pedophile and you might as well vote for whatever one you agree with the most, which it sounds like at first he's saying Trump is obviously on the list, but so is everyone else. And then he starts talking about how Trump is scared for his life. That's why we aren't getting a list. And then he says Trump, he doesn't have authority over it. And he knows Trump isn't into young girls and sex isn't his thing. He says sex isn't Trump's thing, which is completely insane. And he said even his biggest haters would tell you that. But I think it's more like the opposite. I think even his biggest supporters would say Trump's a horn dog. Like, that's not even a question. This is the grab by the pussy guy. And every time he was on Howard Stern, he'd talk about all this crazy shit he does. How he walks around women's changing rooms during beauty pageants and sees young girls naked. And also Robin called him a sexual predator one time. And Donald's like, yeah, that's true. Like, even if he's not on Epstein's list, the guy's a horn dog. There's no debate about that.
So I think Trump is a sexual predator, but anything said on a joke on Stern, I don't take seriously. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's kind of where because the whole idea was to be shocking and
right, yeah,
and to get a rise out of Stern or get a rise out of the people there. So yeah, when he said that, it's like he's probably just.
Yeah, I've seen the clip. Yeah, Robin says it, she's laughing, and he's like, "It's true." You know what I mean? Just goofy, shocking Stern comedy shit. So, yeah, I guess you can bring it up, but I don't. Like I said, even someone like me who thinks Trump probably is, I don't. Like I said, I take no stock in a sexual predator joke or admission on Howard Stern.
So Tim's trying to tell his
all did.
Right? Yeah.
And otherwise, is so bizarre. So he either just doesn't know what Trump is like at all, which is hard to believe, or he got the call because we know Trump and his team are reaching out to influencers, trying to get them to take it easy with this.
I'm giving advice to people now that live in this country. Choose the file you agree with. Choose the file whose values are yours. Who wants better schools? Probably all of them. What has the viewpoint that you align with? Who is the who's going to make sure your children have a shot at the American dream? You cannot ask that they don't f kids. You cannot ask that. It's a bridge too far. Stop being greedy. I think Trump knows they'll
He's
kill
probably
him.
not wrong.
Yeah, I was actually I saw this before I even I saw this clipped on something else. I was torn on this part of it. I think he's letting, because obviously not everybody is, but right, you're making the point that a ton of them are. Like I even said, that's why Biden and the Dems don't release it, and Trump, they're all in it, or their buddies are in it if they're not in it. So I get that point. But I also think it's, I don't know, it's like letting them get away with it. Like, no, we can't. We gotta put a fucking stop to this. It's not okay. It's not fucking right.
Yeah, but the people to put the stop to it are the people doing it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know, man. We gotta like. But this is just crazy. This is where the partisan shit drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah, as I've
hello,
always
Mr.
said, it
Z.
needs to be we the people versus the government. We should
Right,
not
like
be versus
I'm
each other.
like I think I got in on someone with X today. I pretty much said like Trump and Bill Clinton are both in it and blah blah blah. And I had someone like, no, Bill Clinton's not. I'm like, listen, like obviously I don't know 100% anyone that's in it, but I just don't get, if you're someone on the left, I mean, that thinks Trump's in it, but you don't think Bill's. I don't know how you can think that. I just, you got to put your partisan fucking shit aside.
I said, I think I'd be more surprised if Clinton wasn't in it.
Yeah, so you can't. I don't know. It like I take anyone that says Trump is on it but Clinton isn't. I just don't. They're just partisan hacks to me, and they have to stop that shit. You have to care more about the victims or stopping pedophilia itself than your side winning or whatever. Like that's not. This notion that only the left are pedophiles or only the right or only Democrat. It's like you can change parties. That has nothing to fucking do with it. I mean, Trump was technically a fucking Democrat for fucking decades back in the day, and then he switched. Like Tulsi switched. Like people switch. It doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just you're a sick fuck. Holy shit! Yeah, and I agree, Young Old Vibes. Like I watched a lot of his videos, and he's more complimentary with the Howard Stern people than the Rogan people. I've kind of noticed that. I think he was more of a Stern guy than a Rogan guy, and that disdain seems to be growing with each video. I've noticed. Play.
I think Trump knows that they'll kill him. I think he does. Truly, I believe he knows that. I believe he knows that the people that killed all of those people would find a way to kill him if this came out. I believe that he knows that. I believe he believes that some faction of those people tried to kill him already. Don't quite know who, but I believe that is what he believes. I don't know
That's kind of where I'm at on it too.
Yeah, we've had this. Obviously, I disagree. Don't get me wrong. I totally believe people would kill to stop from this list getting out. I that's obvious. Like I said, I just happen to think that he's on it. I just think there's too much circumstantial evidence, but I do get, it's not like this theory doesn't come out of nowhere, I mean, Epstein himself was unalived, so obviously they're willing to do it. So absolutely, because this would end careers, lives, everything. Yeah, definitely.
I don't have any information on that. Like I can't tell you, like it's not like like someone told me that. I don't know what else evidence-wise you would need. And the president of the United States, he's the most powerful man in the world. No, he's not. No, he is not. No, he ain't. And if the last 6 months haven't showed you that, I don't know what will. He's not. It feels nice to say our president is the most powerful person in the world. It feels good. He's the most powerful person in the world. But really, the reality of the situation is he's not. He's not. And he can't wave a wand. And I'm not exempting Trump from blame. I don't think he's I don't think young chicks are his thing. And even his enemies tell you that. They're just not his thing. You know? I don't know what else he's around with, but it's not young chicks. I don't think it's sex. I think whatever it is, he's getting pressure from a lot of people and he's succumbing to it. You know? He's not a brave, he's not a revolutionary. What? He owned casinos. Guys.
So I guess that's the narrative Trump wants him to push. You know, Rogan's meme kind of said the same thing, like Trump's not really in charge and the deep state is pushing back and he's scared and all that bullshit. But I'm still waiting to see what Rogan has to say about it on his podcast. If he says anything about it, I mean, he better, or that'll be really suspicious. But when he does, I'll definitely cover it. So make sure you subscribe and then check out my Patreon.
Yeah, so that last part was weird because Tim Dillon's usually I don't get that. Yeah, Trump likes sex. If you want to make the argument he doesn't like underage girls, but he definitely likes women younger than him, and he likes sex. I don't know what that was. That was just weird.
Yeah, that seems pretty obvious.
So, and I don't know. I think the president is the United States. I guess you can make the argument he's not. I don't even know who the most powerful man in the world would be then. But the president's pretty damn powerful. But obviously, yeah, he can be taken out by other forces. You can ask JFK. I mean, it's happened before. So does every guy. You know, Mr. Z, I don't know how old you are, but it's that. I'm not saying it changed, but that it changes. Like I can't even, like obviously when I was 21, a 21-year-old was woo. Now a 21-year-old is a kid to me. Do I find 30-year-olds attractive? Sure. But it's like it goes up 10 years like every fucking decade for me. It's yeah, all right. So you're still around that age.
I don't think I could even I don't think I could hang out with a 21-year-old.
Right. I'll just get Mr. Z, you're in your mid-30s, so you're right at that age where people in the young 20s, it's still not crazy. It's still just a decade below you, so it's not nuts.
You'll get there soon.
Yeah, I'm 46. I'll be 47 later this year. So to me, 21 is a fucking I have 2 of my 3 kids are in their early 20s, so it's yeah, it's just too, but I get what you're saying. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, hire one and go fuck her, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I'm not hanging out with her.
No, I even said it's funny, like I mean, as I've gotten older, the porn has definitely gone down. But I'm sure if I throw Pornhub on, I'm sure most of the actresses are like in their very early 20s. So that's what you're getting. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know why he said that. That was odd. But whatever. It was in the whole scheme of things. That's just nitpicky. It's
just kind of a throwaway. But
yeah.
Although the guy went well. I was saying 2lay2try is saying that people are saying that he doesn't even like sex, but it turns out it was one person.
Yes, it was Mr. Tim Dillon. Yeah, I don't know. I get. Yeah, what he said was like you could ask. I forget what he said. You could ask his enemies or something. I don't know. Whatever. It was meaningless. All right, we'll wrap it up. Liquid, would you like to plug your channel? Your either YouTube, Kick, or both?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm moving, so probably nothing's going to be showing up on any channel probably till next month.
Gotcha. All right. I don't know. I'll probably do at least one. I will try my best this week, but actually tomorrow night I will be on BYB. I got an invite from Quad and still trying to figure out if let's make fun of the liberal or if it's a real invite, but we'll find out. I mean, it's a real invite, but you know what I mean. Ava was on this week and things seem to be fine, so I'm sure it's okay, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll be on BYB tomorrow. I think it's 8:00. I think I should find out.
Yeah, be sure to grill him on what does he mean by surely new.
I'm sure that'll come up. Yeah, that like I don't even know what we're gonna even talk about. I haven't been told.
Ask him if he thinks Julie's on the Epstein list.
Nick WB2 is going to hold an event maybe near your area. You in? WB2. Why don't I know what that is?
I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know what that is, Mr. Z. I'm not sure what that is. But win by 2. Oh yeah, you're a mod for him, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. There was an event in my area recently, and I didn't make it. But we'll see. Not to get too personal. I got a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, and We'll see how my health update does before I make any plans, but probably not. I usually I haven't been to any of these events yet, so I doubt I'll be going. But thank you for letting me know. Yeah, all right. So yeah, quad tomorrow, probably at some point during the week. I'll do my random, and then we'll be back. Well, I don't know if Liquid will be back, but I'll be back next Sunday. Well, we can talk since you're moving.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I should be in my new place by next week.
Gotcha.
Or by the end of this week, I should be in my new place.
All right, so we should be back next. Thank you, Vagina Wrinkle, and everyone. We should be back next Sunday, same time, same channel, everything. Thank you guys, and good luck with your move, Liquid.
Oh, thanks. Have a good night, everyone.
Peace.
Stuff, mumbling, pineapple stuff, dabbling, controversial stuff. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. NICK mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air. Cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6. Jonesing for your fix, so that dabble politics mix. So where the fudge you at, punk? Shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. Pull your flags up, pull your flags up, pull your flags up, pull your flags up, pull your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna duck now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and the YouTube thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time, so you better get some better views and get saved up on your dime. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabble is blasting out the political shit. The back and forth shit, put bounce in the dabble pit. On your flags